Hey guys and girls, I'm Clint and I'm here to talk about building muscle today. Hopefully, from my years of experience, I can teach you something. I'm going to try to get straight to the point and help you build muscle. So, first, I'm going to start off by talking about calories or caloric intake. And I think this is the first and foremost most important concept or idea is if you don't have the proper nutrition to replenish your body after a hard workout, you're just not going to build muscle. Your muscle fibers have to have the nutrients to rebuild and get bigger and stronger. And if you don't have that, it's just not going to happen. So, first and foremost, start there. Make sure you're getting your proper calories in. And if you have to, download an app. There's plenty on the App Store. Track it. Figure out where you're at. If you work out and you're physically active, make sure you're eating more calories. If you're not, you need less. And people argue you need more proteins and fats or this and that, and some people want to say you need more carbs before a workout for your ATP or sugars to give you more energy, but that's all side stuff. Just focus on calories. And then number two, I would say consistency. Just being in the weight room is going to get you way farther than sitting at home doing nothing or doing whatever else. It'll help in the long run, I promise, but there's things that can add to that. It's better to be more effective than not when you're in the weight room. So here are some ideas I can throw at you. So when you are in there, you can be the most effective human being you can while you're in the weight room and spending your time there. And here are some plans or goals or workouts you can utilize while you're in there. And number one is an isolation workout, which is basically like isolating a specific muscle group. For example, you maybe want to one on Monday you want to target your biceps and triceps, or maybe your forearms with that too. So you kill your those you focus on them by doing your biceps, doing curls, and you tricep extensions and soul crushes to get your triceps, and you pretty much kill your those muscle groups that day, and then let those recover. And on Tuesday, you focus on maybe your chest and shoulders, and then you get the pattern. And then maybe some recovery in between, just in general. And then another one is compound workouts. This is really effective utilizing many different muscle groups. For example, your bench press, your deadlift. Working your deadlift works your legs, your whole back, works many different muscle groups in between. So very effective for getting a lot of things to work together. And then you got your negatives, which I think are super good for ripping muscle fibers, which is at the basic level how you build muscle. And in other terms, negatives or your eccentric movement, when, for example, on the curl, your eccentric movement is when you extend your bicep or when it elongates and gets longer. So on the movement going down, and then here's just another term I can throw at you. And then your concentric motion is when you bring that dumbbell back up and contract your muscle. So there's some vocabulary for you: eccentric and concentric. And here's another one for you. This has become very popular over the years: push-pull workouts. So the main idea of this is one day you do workouts that push, which focus different muscles, and then one day you do a pull, which lets your push muscles recover, and then you get to work a different set of muscles. So you give your muscles time to recover and rebuild. And then you can do different things like burnouts, which is taking a different amount of dumbbells. This kind of goes off the basis of progressive overload. You can take 20-pound dumbbells and work your way up to 40s, or you can go backwards if you wanted to. Something like that is burnouts, which I'm not huge into. It can be good, but it really does burn your muscles out. Um, Another thing to throw in there is when you're doing this, you got to make sure you got proper form and make sure you have proper full range of motion. I mean, You're going to get a lot farther on your bicep curl if you're not half-assing it and you go all the way down instead of only going half. Full range of motion is very important in my opinion. And another reason for proper form, because you don't want to get injured. I mean, you don't want to work out to better yourself, but to injure yourself at the same time. So it's important to properly work out and make sure you got proper form so you're not hurting yourself. And with that, that's the keys to gaining muscle. One other thing I can throw on there for you is your rep range. I think the perfect range for building mass is about 6 to 12, or maybe 8 to 10, somewhere in that area. Um, and sets, I like to change up, like I was saying, progressive overload, and all those different things change, or just change in general, so you don't plateau. When your muscles get used to something, it's hard for them to grow. It's like doing the same. If you work at work and you do the same thing every day, your muscles get used to it. So you got to change it up. So different amount of sets or different reps every once in a while instead of the basic muscle. Instead of the 8 or 12 whatever you do, it is good to change it up every once in a while. So keep that in mind. Change and rep range. Like I said, what most people like to do is like 4 sets of 8 or a 5 by 5, somewhere in that range. But like I said, change is good. So always keep that in mind. That's what I got for you today. Hopefully you learned something. And best of luck gaining muscle. Thanks.